Season 4 is around the corner. We know that now. And we've seen now what the item levels are going to be for things and what they're going to do with Legendaries going into Season 4 here. We know we're getting the Awakened Rage, which is a new version of Faded Rating.
Waste to this realm.
Raymond, thank you for the sub on YouTube, my man. We're getting that new version of Faded Rating, and we're also getting all new Mythic Plus style of dungeons, and the rotation is going to be all the Dragonflight pools. Let's see what they're going to do with Legendaries here in Season 4.
10.2.6 has just released, and with it we have the Plunderstorm event. But not only that, we have updates on the Legendaries coming back into Season 4. No, you don't have to craft them again, but you will be able to upgrade them on top of the dungeon pool being confirmed. The raids having some neat little changes with new mounts, new portals, new titles, and gearing has been also receiving some upgrades to get you getting the gear a little bit quicker, easier, with less of a headache. Together with Dinars and currency that you can buy gear with. Let's see what 10.2.6, well, Season 4 rather, has in store for us, starting with the Legendaries.
Just real quick, me personally, I do think that the best thing for the end of an expansion is to let everybody just gear out really quick. I think that's the time of the expansion where you want to see everybody, you know, fulfill their, their end game goals, get all the things they wanted to get, go big dick, slap everything around, helicopter dick your way around the rest of the expansion, and just have a good old time, because it's all going to be irrelevant very soon. So why not let people gear the hell out at the end of an expansion? That's why I like the system.
Which is probably one of the main asked questions for people that have received
I still don't have my
looted
legendary.
for Furalax, whatever you want to call it, the axe essentially from Farak. Now that, together with Nazuro for Evoker, so if you still have it in your bank, you better still have it in your bank, will be upgradable in the new season. Now this is still data mined because the PTR is not yet up as of recording this video, and the data mine shows that we can upgrade these particular legendaries with an item called Scale of Awakening that increases the eye level of those two until...
Yeah, so it goes up to, it says it increases the item level to 502 and allows it to be upgraded further. But did they ever reveal what the cap level is going to be for this now? I don't know, but and upgrading it further, how would you? I guess I'll let it play, let the man cook.
502. Now we know that the eye level cap so far that has been confirmed was 522, so I doubt this will be the end eye level of the legendaries. Likely this is maybe just one of the items that has been data mined, probably from a rating equivalent of normal faded raid, and this will probably go up to, I would imagine, something like 530. Legendaries do have to have higher eye level than the other items to feel special, because, you know, legendaries, right? So we at least know that whether or not it stops at 502 or higher or an unknown eye level period, we know that the devs are actually intending the legendaries to still be usable and relevant in Season 4, depending on what eye level that...
I'm scared that because DPS is going to pop off so hard, tanks are going to lose aggro even faster. Yeah, DK equals broken 2, maybe. No, that won't happen, because even though DPS is going to be higher across the board, tanks DPS is going to be higher too. So the aggro should consistently rise with DPS, hopefully.
That ends up being with...
Especially if you have the legendary, which I don't have, so maybe I'm going to lose aggro.
Probably just have to see until
Blizzard.
PTR hits up, but I'm pretty sure that people's feedback will influence the availability, validity of the legendaries coming back, because Season 4, although it comes with the legendaries, since we'll be able to still raid them and people can still get them in Season 4 as well, it comes back with other items that are particularly incredibly strong, like the Hunter Bow from Razageth, if you do remember, which was nerfed multiple times and still was the strongest bow that hunters could equip back in 10.0, which is obviously coming back because Razageth is...
By the way, this isn't new. That reminds me of the Hunter Bow. I mean, they had the Hunter Bow back in Shadowlands, and that was upgradable and remained relevant throughout the Faded rating.
Coming back. And although I won't go into the details of it, just to kind of tie it in with all of the legendaries as well, tier sets from previous raids, the tier sets that have been voted on are also getting buffed because a lot of them have been nerfed once.
Bitch, I can hold aggro. I'm letting you die on purpose. What about that?
the raid has finished. Stuff like the Season 1 Balanced Druid tier has also been buffed, and a lot of other ones as well. So if you have to refarm an old tier set that you know your class or spec has had it nerfed, most likely it has been buffed, or at least data mine to have been buffed until Season 4 releases, so you don't need to worry about that. Your tier set is going to kick ass, or at least that's what's intended for it to do. There's a lot more stuff coming into Season 4 that is very hard to cover in just this one video. One thing that you need to know is that dungeon trinkets have been reworked to kind of be also pretty valid, because in Season 1 when we have had, and Season 2 rather, when we had the Dragonflight dungeons and looted those trinkets, some of them were very underwhelming, so a lot of them will...
Trinket reworks are good. Trinkets are a big boon to your DPS. They can change your rotation. I like to see trinkets that actually change things for you. It just makes looting them even more exciting, so I'm glad they decided to go back and rework some of these.
Reworks, just keep that in mind. We're not going to go into the individual ones because, as you might have guessed, the dungeon pool has been confirmed, and lo and behold, it is the 8 Dragonflight dungeons. Kind of confirmed. 99%. Listen, it's never going to be 100% confirmed until I see Ian on screen or any other developer from the WoW team saying, yes, these will be the dungeons. But their data mine changes to all of the Dragonflight dungeons.
I'm honestly not that happy with this. I feel like, first of all, I hate no coup defensive. I hate tanking that place. But also, I feel like this is how the expansion should start. Right? We're excited to do the new dungeons early in the expansion. I feel like the first rotation of dungeons in a Mythic Plus season, when expansion drops, should be this. It should be all the new dungeons, and then you start to go on from there. And then at the very end, I feel like we should get something exciting. Something new, like new but old, like maybe Scarlet Monastery Mythic Plus. You know, something like that. Where we're going back and doing something cool in a new version of Mythic Plus from an old dungeon content. But, you know, it's fine, I guess. We're getting this. We'll do it.
Dungeons are happening on the Datamine PTR server, which they wouldn't happen if they wouldn't be coming back. So, you know, it's like 99.99% confirmed as well. So that is the last season of Mythic Plus, and that's what we'll have. That's also why the trinkets are gonna be reworked. A lot of the bosses and dungeon mechanics are being nerfed, similar to the raid as well. A lot of Mythic bosses are kind of tuned down. And to tie it all in with the Season 4 Fated season thing, it's likely, as much as the data mine has been going on, that we will have Dinars back, or predetermined gear acquisition, or whatever you want to call it, which was probably kind of confirmed by Ian as well at the end of the Shadowlands Season 4 as well.
Yeah, Ian did say that they like the Dinar system, they think it was good, and they didn't think it was overpowered, and they want to do it again. And this goes back to what I said early in this video, that end of expansion should be a time where players are just gearing the hell out, right? Where they're just getting all the gear that they've been chasing the entire expansion. Give it to them. Let them have a way to get it so everyone can just helicopter dick the rest of the expansion. It should be a fun time. That's why, honestly, what was it called? The whole thing at the end of BFA where we got the corrupted gear. That was broken. It broke the game. But who cared? It was the end of the expansion. It was time to have fun. And it didn't matter. Once the new expansion comes out, it was all gone. So that was great, and I'm glad to see they're going to bring the Dinar system back. Let people buy the gear they've been trying to get. It's a good idea.
Well, and not to essentially quote Ian Hazekostis, they will bring back a Dinar type system. I don't know if it's going to be called Dinar. Maybe it'll have a different name because they always like to rename things. But we will have a predeterministic way of acquiring. I
saw it went from 3 to 1 tokens. We're still not sure. You're talking about this. This was data mined. It says total cap 1, weekly cap 0. We still don't know what that means. But I personally think they're just going to drop it the same way it was before, because Ian himself came out and said that the system was not overpowered, that they liked it and they thought it was good. So I feel like we're still going to get the same thing we got before. Nobody knows what this means yet. This could just be for testing or something for all we know.
But we will have a predeterministic way of acquiring gear by acquiring currency from the raids. They essentially like the concept. They thought it was really good for a fated season. They don't think that's a good system to have for the general seasons of WoW, and that's still something that I'm not sold on.
I don't know what the hell happened. Chaos thrown to my throat. I'm clearly getting over something. I have a real life affix attached to me right now, but nothing's going to stop me from getting the Legendary today, so I don't give a shit.
on yet.
still
Doesn't
streaming.
matter, but in season 4 it is coming back, so you can expect vendors to be up somewhere in Valdrakken where you can buy raid trinkets in, where you could probably buy some of the weapons like the hunter bow once again, and probably also be where you will acquire the legendary upgrade currency item consumable type thing, because if I recall, that's how you did it in Shadowlands with the Sylvanas bow, which I never looted, so I don't have first-hand experience of it, but that's, I think, if I remember properly, that's how it was about 2 years ago, right? So that's essentially the gear upgrade. And one little tidbit to kind of round up the gear acquisition and increase, there's actually 2 tidbits because it never stops. There's so much stuff. First of all, in tune with the Plunderstorm event, if you do play the event, and you should, we already have a video on it, by the way, you will acquire Renown 5 eventually. And once you do get to Renown 5, a vendor will unlock in Valdrakken. You will get a push notification quest taking you to that vendor, and you can exchange the currency from the Plunderstorm event to acquire flight stones and crests and use them essentially to upgrade gear. And speaking of upgrading gear, with season 4, as you might expect, crafting high levels will also...
Yeah, they don't give you myth track, the crests for myth track upgrades, but you can get these. You can get the worms ones and then upgrade them, right? Through the upgrade vendors, switch them over, convert them over to the myth track ones. I forget what they're called. But so you can technically gear out through the Plunderstorm event. Technically. It just might be a big grind. I mean, it's only 3 plunder, and you can get, now that they buffed it, I've seen people get over 2,000 plunder from a single round. So you can upgrade decently from this.
Use them essentially to upgrade gear.
Maybe you're sick of Mythic Plus. This is another way to get some crests.
Speaking of upgrading gear, with season 4, as you might expect, crafting high levels will also go up. Since we don't have a new faction, there's no weekly acquisition of the Spark equivalent for season 4 that we will have at the time.
No, this is available now. This is not just for season 4 if you're talking about the vendor.
Spark of Awakening or something like that. But instead, we'll be able to use 2 sparks together with Flystones, like the acquisition has been determined in the server as well to
you just got to get to Renown 5.
The new crafted gear
Storm.
at a higher level in season 4. Now we don't know exactly how we will acquire these sparks, most likely having something to do with doing faded raids or doing the new Mythic Plus season, possibly even for PvP for people who play PvP.
I don't give a shit.
But it's likely going to be activity based or activity tied so that you don't have to farm Renown, because there's no new faction to farm Renown with. Now, aside of the dungeon pool being announced and the raids being turned into faded, we have a couple of other stuff that have been data mined. Of course, we have mounts for the new Keystone Master from the raid as well. We also know that we will have...
This Infinite Dragonflight skin here is the best one, I have to say. This one right here is from some reputation stuff that you can do to get this. And then this one right here is actually the faded rating or awakened rating end of mount. So last time we got Mr. Jigglesworth, the slime cat. Now we're going to get this Fox Boy Dragon. Honestly, Mr. Jigglesworth shits on this. I was hoping we were going to get a slime version of our Drakes, like a slime skin for them. That would have been amazing. This one is underwhelming, to say the least. I really don't care about it. I don't, but I'm going to get it anyway. Screw it.
Have portals to the raid, which I don't remember if we had that in Shadowlands. So far, the data mine shows that you have to clear the mythic raid to get the portal, which I think it's kind of like irrelevant at that point. If you do end up clearing Mythic Farok, Razageth, and Sarkareth, how much more need would you have a portal then? Wouldn't you want the portal to be able to farm the raids to essentially clear them? And Mythic, not everybody's going to do Mythic, so I do hope that even if this was intended for how the portals will act, that they move the portals to normal. I don't think they have to be Mythic. I think everybody can take advantage of it. Like flying to the raid is outdated. Why do I have to fly to Thaldraszus for Vault of the Incarnates? Why do I have to go back into Zerla Cavern to go all the way to Aberrus and then to the Emerald Dream to go to Amir Drasil? Just give me the...
Look, I get what he's saying, but can I just say one thing about fucking portals? There's too many of them now. There's too many. I get the whole quality of life and all that, but I do feel like we're getting to a point where it's kind of lazy and it kind of breaks game immersion when you just have 36 portals and you just port to everything. Like you're just constantly porting all over the place, never journeying through the world to get anywhere anymore. I do think there's a balance. I don't think they should have a portal to every single spot in the game. There is a balance to keeping things exploratory and making the world feel big, versus having the convenience of a portal.
Portal man. If I clear the
Maybe
last
an
boss
unpopular
in the
opinion,
raid
I'm
where
just
there
saying.
is Razageth, Sarkrith, or Farok, just give me the portal. I think that's great. I think that's one of the good things that happens to Mythic Plus when you clear them on plus 20. You get a portal to get you to that place a lot faster. It definitely incentivizes people to actually clear the last boss quicker. There's no reason why only Mythic creators should have access to these portals and not everybody playing the game, because why would a normal person have to just fly to the raid if they cannot kill the mythic boss at the end? Why can they just not take the portal? So please, the devs, if you're watching this video or if the feedback is taken into consideration, please consider moving the portals to normal, unless the data mine was wrong and normal was always the intended way for the portals to be acquired, which would be great. And an interesting thing that happened, and I don't know if we're gonna have more of this, but Mistweavers have received a slight rework in their talents. So far in the 10.2.6 patch, Dance of Chi-Ji and Peer into the Peace have made it to the Mistweaver talent tree, where Dance of Chi-Ji now, I don't know if the numbers are exactly the same as...
Damn. Imagine your class being so shit that you're in the final season and your class is still getting rebalanced. Man, I feel bad for Mistweavers. They've had a tough time.
Moonwalker, but your spells and abilities have a chance to make your next Spinning Crane kick deal an additional 300% more damage, which is one way of Mistweaver, you know, healing everybody in AoE. Does bring a lot of damage to Mistweaver as well. I don't know if it's too much damage. I don't think Mistweavers are known for breaking the meta with their DPS output, so I think this could be fine. Peer into Peace is 5% of your overhealing done onto targets with Soothing Mist is spread to 3 nearby injured allies. Soothing Mist now follows the target of your Enveloping Mist or Vivify, and its channel time is increased by 4 seconds. This is a very neat interaction with Soothing Mist. Now, I don't know gameplay-wise how this will work and if people will like it for Soothing Mist to just move on to targets that maybe you don't necessarily intend to keep healing, but it is a talent. It is an option that you can go into or not get into. So having updates to it is particularly great, since people have been asking for reworks for months. Does this mean we will have more little tiny tweaks and reworks for other classes? I'm thinking about DK maybe. I don't know, but the fact that it is coming in, well, you know, season 4, 10.2.6 essentially, is a great sign that, you know, the devs are still on top of the class design and the class reworks, and we can only assume that these will only be accelerated as the war with...
It's the best class. It's just the best class in the game. Whether it's top DPS or not, best tank or not, it's just a Giga Chad class. Let's be honest.
Then gets closer and closer, but it is an amazing time. There's a lot of good stuff coming. There's even more than we can possibly cover, so actually get your butts into the game and play. And if not, just play Plunderstorm.
That's lore for
and if
sure.
you don't know what Plunderstorm is and why this is the best thing that happened to WoW in the last couple of years, you can check our video on it right here and get your butts to plundering.
Yeah, not bad. You know, obviously Legendary is continuing. We knew that was going to happen. The way looting is going to happen seems about right. I don't really like the dungeon pool for Mythic Plus, but I am happy that they're bringing back the Dinar system and everything. Like I said at the very beginning of the video, end of an expansion should be 2 things: fun and time to go big dick. Right? Just give everybody everything. Let's have a good old time and close out the expansion the right way.